this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engine scream. This is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might. Push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight. Racing on with all our might.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Atlanta Motor Speedway for our final regular season race here in the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, powered by HCK Eagles and all of our amazing sponsors here this afternoon. As drivers jump out there onto the racetrack, I do give a huge shout out there to Kevin Winker. Kev coming in with the heart reaction on the broadcast as well, also letting us know that we were muted over there as well. We want to make sure we had that volume on. Unfortunately, you guys missed the first little bit of that song there. That's an unfortunate break, but nonetheless, we are ready. We are back. We are ready to rock and roll. My boy Justin Young coming in as well over there on YouTube to show the love. Says greetings and salutations. He's gonna be back here in just a little bit. Says good luck, racers. Justin, I appreciate you tuning in, brother. I can't wait to see you back into the chat and ready to watch these drivers duke it out here this evening from the beautiful Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, this is the new Atlanta Motor Speedway, so you see the green walls here now, the completely repaved, resurfaced racetrack, which makes this a very, very interesting race because this runs more of a super speedway style of a race now compared to what we're used to seeing there on the old school racetrack, the one with so much character, so much bumps and grooves and everything else, and some great racing for a mile and a half. But now we have this mile and a half kind of super speedway here with the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it makes for some very, very exhilarating, very exciting racing out there on the speedway. And these drivers are going to be giving us a good look at that here all evening long. As qualifying underway, drivers out there onto the racetrack, they are going to lay down some quick lap times here on the speedway. See Neil Lapidus out there in the OSOCOutdoors.com Ride the 26, currently 9th fastest here in qualifying. The Ridge Powersports KR Gutters number 469, Ryan Peterson, he's down on the back stretch here. He is currently the 11th fastest driver. We got a few more cats here ready to qualify, but right now it's Nick Gardner with the quick time here in qualifying. Kevin Winker, Bobby Blair, Brett Summers, and Nathan Nixon are top 5 here in this one so far in this qualifying session. Now they got about a minute or so left for these cats to jump out there and try to lay down some good quick lap times here. Potentially only have time to get one more lap in if they jump out there. If not, they will be starting deeper in the field, as right now it's still Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, Edward Koshersberger, Jeremy Lucy, Brian Chu, Jonathan Herbert, Brandon Domingue, Gregory Turner, Chris Gilbert, and Jason LePan, all yet to make a qualifying attempt on the racetrack. So right now it's Nick Gardner, Kevin Winker, Bobby Blair, Brent Summers, Nathan Nixon, Dennis Steele, Michael Madden, Daniel Down, Neil Lapidus, Jacob Grube, our top 10 here in qualifying. Ryan Peterson and Kyle Van Tassel rounding out our top 12 here, getting ready to go to battle, getting ready to duke it out here in this one, which is going to be another amazing show, another amazing race here this afternoon. As Kev says, facing some bruised ribs tonight. Laugh out loud, fell off my work truck today, but wouldn't miss a race. Brother, listen, that is tough. That is going to be very, very tough. Honestly, I don't know. Hopefully, if you're a bit of a leaner or anything, man, I'm hoping that at least you landed on the right side ribs. Maybe that's a potential good thing. I mean, I don't know if that would be better or worse. I don't know. Would it be better or worse on the left or the right-hand side to be in the cockpit of a race car? If you're a bit of a leaner, you're leaning to the left, so you're leaning kind of down onto the ribs, but you're stretching out the right-hand side, where maybe it'd be better to kind of crunch them up and kind of tense those muscles inwards compared to stretching them outwards on the left-hand side. I don't know. That'd be very interesting. Nonetheless, it's going to be a tough day at the racetrack here for Kevin Winker. That's never a fun time, man. Bruised ribs and having that injury definitely going to make racing out there on the racetrack that much tougher here this afternoon, as we'll get these drivers stacked up, racked up, and ready to go as our main feature event is about to get underway. These drivers getting ready to go to battle here this afternoon, which is going to be a very fun race. Going to be a very exciting race here, as Nick Gardner in the Napa Auto Parts number 16 ride will start here in the pole position. To his outside in the Muhlenberger Homes number 42, it's Winker Nation. Kevin Winker there in that second spot on the speedway. Starting in position number 3 in the 75, that is Bobby Blair in the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters ride. To his outside in the Boston Web Marketing, good looking paint scheme here for the 7 machine of Brad Summers, and looking very sporty out there on the speedway. Nathan Nixon in the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC ride will start there in 5th, and a steal in the Havoline 28 will start there to his outside. Starting in position number 7, another Sparkle and Shine Anything EC ride. It's the 15 machine of Michael Madden there in 7th. To his outside, another Sparkle and Shine Anything EC ride. The 4 of Daniel Dow rounding out our top 8. Neil Lapidus in the OSuckOutdoors.com ride. Neil Lapidus will start there in the 9th position. Rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway is the Michaels Warrior Project number 18 of Jacob Group. And then we see the 469 of Ryan Peterson going to start there in 11th. Kyle Van Tassel will start there in position number 12. And then we see Chris Gilbert, who will start in the 13th position. He will have Edward Koshersberger there to his outside. And then remember our veterans number 19. Jason LePan will start in the 15th position. He will have the 77 ride of Brandon Deming to his outside, starting there in 16th. Starting in the 17th position in the KTM number 41, that is Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. To his outside in the number 51, that is Brian Chu. Starting in position number 19 on the raceway is the 76 ride of Jeremy Lucy, and rounding out our top 20 in the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters HTK Beagles number 87, that is Jonathan Herbert. 20 drivers ready to rock and roll, as Gregory Turner still down pit side. We'll have to wait and see if Greg jumps out there onto the speedway, see if he wants to jump out here and run some laps with the fellas here this afternoon. We may see him jump out there in just a little bit. As the pace car will make that hard left-hand turn, we will end all of the anticipation with our feature presentation, as we are quickly green flag racing here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Quickly, Nick Garner onto the left pedal, but Kevin Winker there to his outside. Not a whole lot of push and help here behind our front two cats, but here you go. Here comes that 75 of Bobby Blair, right to the back bumper of that number 16 ride. But Bobby Blair gets shuffled in a line down below that red and white line here on the speedway. He's going to quickly take that 75 ride right to the back of the pack. May not be the worst strategy here early on in the race, trying to save this truck, trying to keep it out of trouble, and maybe trying to stay here at the back of the pack may be one of the safest places to be on the speedway. Is out in front, it's door to door here in this one. Kevin Winker leading the outside lane, Nick Gardner leading that inside lane here in this one, as they go door to door back down the back straight away. The 7 rider Brett Summers right there, ready to try to push that 42 ride, the Muhlenberger Custom Homes machine of Kevin Winker, the Winker Nation ride there to the front of the field. But it is Nick Gardner who will have the early race lead here in that Napa Auto Parts number 16. Now it's interesting here, as the 16 truck of Gardner is currently getting pushed by a couple of the Sparkly Shine Anything EC rides, a pair of the Revved Racing crew right there on his back bumper. Now they are teammates with that 42 rider, Kevin Winker. I'm sure they're going to look to be, trying to line each other up, trying to figure out an area to go and see if they can try to get all of them kind of in the same line, in the same areas. Contact! Look out! Hard up into the outside wall goes Kevin Winker. There goes the 16 of Nick Garner as they make contact down the front straight away. No caution flag here on the speedway. We keep it clean and green as everybody trying to work their way around that 16 and the 42 ride. Luckily enough, they are able to avoid any additional contact here with them. Everyone trying to squeeze on by there, but no caution flag here on the speedway, and that's a heartbreaker for our top two drivers here in qualifying. Both drivers running into issues here, and now you see Garner already coming down pit side. Kevin Winker going to go with them. Let's take a look back here. Let's play this back. We're going to throw it back into reverse Terry here in this one and watch this contact. We actually got a great angle of it during the live as looks like Winker kind of coming down the 16, trying to come down here as well. He gets a bit of a weird shove from the 33, almost puts the 16 into the middle here. You can't quite go all the way down to that red line. Unfortunately, Winker comes down to side draft ever so slightly and being more into the middle lane than the bottom lane there. They just unfortunately make contact together. Hard hits up into the outside fence there for both Kevin Winker and for the 16 ride of Nick Gardner. Two drivers that were battling here at the front of the field for the race lead. All of a sudden, both down pit side, both with heavy damage, and both drivers unfortunately now stuck in a tough spot. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Kevin Winker as Winker. Yeah, oh man, that's a couple heavy hits right there for both of those drivers. It's a lot of damage and a lot of repairs that they're going to have to try to do to their rides out here on the speedway. Take a look here at Winker's ride. So he does have that quick repair, has been able to get that truck repaired and back out there onto the racetrack. Same with Nick Gardner. Unfortunately, they're both all the way back here in the 19th and 20th position, and they are both a lap down out here on the speedways. Out in front, they continue to battle door to door here in this one, as it's the 33 of Nathan Nixon down leading the inside lane, leading the outside lane. That's the 2 of Daniel Dow. So Dow there in position number 2 here in the number 4 ride is right there behind him. We see Michael Madden, Brett Summers in that second row. Then we see Ryan Peterson having a great race, in Dennis Steele there in that 6th position. And then we see the 87 of Jonathan Herbert. Jonathan already up 12 spots here on the speedway and battling being a part of this fight up here inside the top 8 on the racetrack. He's got Neil Lapidus right there to his outside as our top 8. You can throw a blanket over them, and they continue to lead the way. About 6 seconds back, you do see Jeremy Lucy here in that 76 ride. The 75 of Robert Blair right there with them. Brian Chu, Nathaniel Ostrowiski, Kyle Van Tassel. Then you see the 19 of Edward Koshersberger, Jacob Grube, Jason LePan, all right there, as well as Chris Gilbert and Brandon Domingue. So they've made this big gap here in a couple different packs out there on the racetrack. And then, of course, you see Nick Garner and Kevin Winker trying to work together now here ever so slightly out there on the racetrack, just trying to keep pace, trying to keep each other from going multiple laps down out here on the racetrack as they roll back in the 19th and 20th spot after having to make those untimely green flag pit stops here this afternoon as the 4 of Daniel Dow continues to lead the way. Nixon right there now into his back bumper, and you see that 15 ride of Michael Madden right there with him as it's all Ravder racing down that inside lane. It's Brett Summers on the outside here. Not a whole lot of help, but here comes the 28, here comes the 26, trying to join that fun here on the outside lane, trying to push this 7 ride up towards the front of the field and trying to battle here for this early race lead. As Michael Scott Spencer says, hey y'all, Keith Hackney got all his racing stuff for sale. Oh my gosh, poor Keith. Poor Keith, that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one. I don't know if Hackney's just getting new equipment or what he's doing. I haven't heard from Hackney here in a few weeks, man. So I don't know. Maybe he's going back to real life racing next spring. Maybe he's just gotten tired of it. I don't know. That's a tough one right there, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough break for Mr. Hackney. That no one likes to see Hackney out of the competition here. A tough, fierce competitor out there in the sim racing world. So we hate to see that. As Janelle says, let's go Team HP Motorsports, hashtag Ridge Powersports, and KR Gutters here in this one. Janelle, how are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. As Justin Young, my boy Justin, coming back in, showing the love. How are you, Justin? Justin says, came back at an exciting time. Brother, it's always an exciting time. It's always an exciting time here on Peacemaker Gaming. I don't know what you're talking about, my boy. Is Daniel Dow out in front. Dow continues to lead the way, but Brett Summers right there to his outside. Our top 8, once again, you can throw a blanket over them as they have about, they got a huge gap here now, about 8 seconds here from our 8th place driver all the way back to our 9th place driver, just over 8 seconds on the speedway. So you see that top pack, even though there's only 8 of them, they're pretty, tight together. They're racing door to door still, but this next group, they just really haven't been able to run them down. They haven't really been able to stay tight together. They keep moving around, drivers going forwards, others drivers going backwards, and it keeps just kind of killing the momentum here out of the second pack, and unfortunately they continue to slide farther and farther away from our top 8 drivers here on the speedway. Neil Lapidus in that OSOCOutdoors.com number 26 machine, trying to keep himself there in this fight, trying to hang on, trying to make sure he stays into that draft. Is out in front Daniel Dow and Nathan Nixon, Michael Madden, the Rev Racing crew still hooked up together down on that inside lane. But a great run here for Dennis Steele. Steele all over the back bumper here of Brett Summers, going to continue to push that 7 ride up and towards the front of the field. Now you do see the 26 ride on Neil Lapidus. He's going to jump down into that inside lane there for a split second. He's going to look to try to catch that draft off the back bumper of the 469 of Ryan Peterson as they continue to battle here at the front of the field. Now, I do say back of the pack sometimes here, especially with the plate racing, can be the safest place on the racetrack towards the back of the pack, where if something happens in front of you, you have ample amount of time to kind of get onto the binders, to get checked up, to kind of slow down, really, get your bearings and make moves to avoid any additional contact out there on the racetrack. But at the same point in time, the front of the field a lot of times can also be the safest place, as you can be stuck a little farther back in the field. We could see that second group that's a little farther back outside our top 8. We could see them running into an issue even though they're farther back behind these guys. But at the front of the field, it seems like it's a great place, but we did see Kevin Winker and Nick Gardner, our top 2 drivers in qualifying, our first and second place driver out there on the racetrack early in this race, make contact, get together, get up into the outside fence. Since then, both of those drivers have been down pit road at least once to get their trucks repaired and back out here onto the racetrack, and unfortunately, they are both scored a lap down. They're hoping for another caution flag. They're hoping for a couple of them to try to work these trucks back onto the lead lap, back into contention here this afternoon. And they're going to be hoping for a caution flag before they potentially go a lap down out there on the racetrack. But the two of them just hooked up together, rolling here together. They're running virtually the same lap times here as our race leaders. So this is a very interesting turn of events with these drivers, battling here at the front of the field, and yet they can't be faster than a 2-car tandem at the back of the pack. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that one to see, what's going on there. As Aaron Bowman, Mr. Bowman, the showman, coming in, showing the love here in this one. How are you, Mr. Bowman? Coming in, says, let's go, as my boy TJ Martin. TJ coming in, dropping that like on the stream as well. How are you, TJ? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. As out in front, it's Daniel Daniel Dow, who continues to lead the way. Dow out in front, Brett Summers there in second. Nathan Nixon in the Rev Racing team, 1, 2, and 3 on the inside lane, but Brett Summers breaking them up here, trying to keep on rolling that outside groove, trying to keep those drivers from jumping out in front and having those top 3 spots. As now you see the 28 ride, look out, Dennis Steele gets up and into the outside fence ever so slightly. That may really hurt the 7 ride. No drafting help here to his back bumper, as you do see the number 469 jumping from the top side down to the bottom, but looks like he's going to work his way back up to the outside lane here. Now trying to work to the back bumper here of Brett Summers, trying to give him a helping hand, but they continue to slide backwards here. And unfortunately, you see the 28 right again. Dennis Steele bouncing it off the corner 3 wall. I'm not sure if he's going to have some tire issues here after making that contact. There's got to be some damage done to that right front. Now, it could be a lot of tire rub. It could be maybe something more mechanical, but there's got to be some pretty good damage here for that 28 ride. Not once, but twice, bouncing it off of that outside fence. You do see Neil Lapidus right there trying to get that outside line moving a little bit more. And you do see a couple of these Rev Racing rides at the front of the field starting to take a little bit of a peek here. Thinking about maybe trying to move to that outside lane as, oh man, they're getting bent out of shape here as well. Especially down through the tri-oval, the 33 ride on Nathan Nixon right there really had to catch that ride to keep himself from going around. But luckily enough, they were able to find some holes. They were able to get back together right there, and they were both able to kind of figure where they need to be there and work themselves back in and into the line here on that inside groove. As Aaron Bowman, my boy Aaron Bowman, the showman, coming in as well with the heart reaction here on the broadcast. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Is some great racing action out here on the Speedway. Our top 8 now separated by about 10 seconds on the Speedway. 10 seconds now between our 8th place driver here, Neil Lapidus, and our 9th place driver, Brian Chu. Back here in position number 9, so you do see the 42 and the 16 ride, both working their way up here and around a lot of these drivers. So still showing a lot of speed here for Kevin Winker and a lot of speed for Nick Gardner, and they're really showing you how they can work together. Right now, they're going to be trying to use the draft here off of this pack back here behind them to try to help not only pull themselves to the front of the field, but maybe try to pull the rest of these trucks up towards the front of the race track as well, trying to run down our top 8 there on the Speedway. But they got a big gap to make up to try to work themselves back onto the lead lap here this afternoon. Over 10 seconds of a gap between our top 8 and our 9th place driver out here on the Speedway. As Dow and the Rev Racing crew continue to run a great race here in this one. They are still 1, 2, and 3 here on the Speedway. They would love to see maybe a caution flag out and allowing the number 42 of Kevin Winker, one of their Rev Racing teammates, to get that lucky dog to get back onto the lead lap and back into contention here this afternoon. Unfortunately, Winker and that 16 ride, who started 1 and 2 on the evening, we saw them both lead some laps early in this race. Unfortunately, they came together, got up into the outside wall right about here on the front straightaway and into quarter number 1. Quite a bit of damage for both drivers, but that 42 and 16 both go down pit side. They get their trucks repaired. Sorry, where's the yawn once? He cannot stop. I'm not even that tired. Come on now, Eric. Come on now. We're going to get an energy drink into us here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to jump into a quick, never mind, as I was going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up, but we do see the caution flag fly. So the caution flag going to come out here in this one the first time here this afternoon. We'll take a look at it. Looks like maybe the number 51 ride right here of Brian Chu and the 76 of Jeremy Lucy gonna come together here. So let's take a look. This was that second pack running hard. Unfortunately, they all kind of get together. They all get stacked up. Nowhere to go for the 51 or the 13 ride, as they get some pretty good damage there into that spin, and quite a bit of burn up equipment as well. And I do believe Jason LePan may have gotten a little bit of contact there with it. We'll take a look here and see from a different angle if the number 20 ride did get tied up in this one. As there you go, all these drivers right there. The 77 with a little bit of damage. Does look like the 20 ride of LePan was able to get checked up and stopped there on the racetrack. We do see Koshersberger going around back there in the 19 ride. So a little bit of damage there for a few of our competitors, a few of our drivers, but nonetheless, our first caution flag of the day out here on the Speedway to really open things up here this afternoon, to really draw things back in as drivers now going to be stacked up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out there on the racetrack. Is that big gap between our top 8 and the rest of the field is now evaporated. It is gone. The rest of the field will be right back into it. They're right back into the hunt and trying to get themselves to the front here. And I do believe, with that being said, the caution flag will give, I believe, Nick Gardner the free pass and back onto the lead lap here. I do believe Kevin Winker will be scored as the first truck one lap down, but you see him back here behind the official iRacing pace car. So what he's hoping for is to get that wave around here as well. He's going to take that lap all the way back here before we go back to green flag racing, and Winker will rejoin us on the lead lap. But now Jeremy Lucy also a lap or two down, and potentially going to be more, as that truck is down pit road and has been down there for a bit of an extended period of time. But here we go, he is going to roll back out onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, he's going to have to try to get another caution flag and potentially work himself back onto the lead lap. As Victor, what's good, Victor? Victor coming in showing the love as Michael says Senoa Speedway got a 3-day race this weekend. Peach State C Classic. Woo, brother. There we go. There we go. A little 3-day race weekend. That's what's up right there. That's what's up right there. Where is that? That's Peach State. Is that Georgia? Is that Georgia, or is that just like the name of the show, Peach State? I'm just assuming Peach State because I'm pretty sure, isn't that like the fruit of Georgia or something like that, or like the state fruit of Georgia's peaches, the Georgia peaches and stuff? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Victor says, nice shirt. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. To know what GA. Yeah, see? Georgia, baby. Georgia. Hey, listen. I'm a Canadian, but I still know a little bit of something, okay? Okay, normally it's a lot of randomness that comes out of my mouth, and I do have a lot of random information that rolls around in my brain, but we got it up here, baby. We got it up here. We got it. Don't ever test it. Don't ever test it, because I got the most useless information somewhere inside my brain. All the useful information, one ear out the other. It never sticks around for very long. But the useless information, hang on to it for some unknown reason. As we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing after our first caution flag, we do see our pole sitter in our second place driver there. Now back onto the lead lap. It's Kevin Winker also getting that wave around, and will rejoin the rear of the field here. So good news for Kevin Winker. Unfortunately, still deeper in the field as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It's still Rev Racing here at the front of the pack. It's Daniel Dow, Nathan Nixon, 1 and 2 here on the front straightaways down through the Geico restart zone. We go back to green flag racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So the green flag quickly back out, and you see that teamwork, hustle, and bustle here at the front of the field as they get hooked up there on the outside lane. They quickly pull ahead of the 33 right, their other Rev Racing teammate there of Nathan Nixon, and now they're all three right in line here at the front of the field. They're locked together and they are pushing each other to the front of the pack. The 7 right up, Brett Summers right there as well in that 4 spot with Dennis Steele, Jonathan Herbert, Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, Ryan Peterson, and Neil Lapidus, Jacob Grube, our top 10 here on the Speedways. The outside lane slowly but surely starting to make their way back up towards the front here, looking to try to make a challenge in the outside groove. as here comes Dennis Steele. But you do see one of the Rev Racing drivers now going to jump up and take that outside lane away. Now, this may be the best way for them to kind of handle this race and to really control this race, is using that inside lane and having a car on the outside lane and leading the way here could potentially be the best thing that they can do out there on the racetrack. Now, the only thing that could suck for them is the number 33 here of Nathan Nixon could get bumped out of the way if he makes a mistake, goes up a little too high, or leaves that middle lane open. The lane back there behind them, there's quite a few different drivers there. They may try to leave him high and dry and leave him in a lane all by himself. Maybe even try to get to the outside of that 33 ride and kind of put him into the middle and leave him there all by his lonesome and not having any drafting help, and just unfortunately freight training him right to the back of the pack. As out in front, Daniel Dow continues to lead the way. Michael Madden there on his back bumper as the outside lane being led by Nathan Nixon in the 28 rider Dennis Steele. And we see Jonathan Herbert and Brett Summers there in 5th and 6th. Ryan Peterson, Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, Neil Lapidus, and Jacob Grube rounding out our top 10. Bobby Blair back here in 11th with Jason LePan there in 12th. Chris Gilbert there in 13th with Kyle Van Tassel, Nick Gardner, Kevin Winker, Edward Koschersberger, Jeremy Lucy, our top 18 here on the Speedway. Brian Chu all the way back here in the 19th spot, and Brandon DeMang back here in the 20th position on the racetrack, and rounding out our field here at the rear of the field. As Michael says, you hear that the 23 and 45 may not get to race Daytona because of charter stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a potential. I mean, all that Hamlin and Michael Jordan have to do is probably drop their lawsuit against NASCAR. Any of those front row drivers as well, from the last I've heard, are part of that lawsuit as well. So any of the front row racing rides as well, which I do believe is like the 34 and the 32, 31 maybe, something like that. A couple of those drivers, unfortunately, yeah, they got to sign the charter agreement right now. That's why they're in that lawsuit. And, you know, if they don't sign it, then unfortunately they don't get to play, and unfortunately that's the monopoly that, you know, NASCAR has over all these drivers and all these teams and everything else. And, you know, you either got to sign it or you don't play, and if you don't play, you don't make any money. So they kind of got them in a tough spot right now. And I think the last I've heard is that just before the Phoenix races got kind of underway, that it was basically shut down. The lawsuit was kind of thrown out, but they have an opportunity to still appeal that and kind of have it took into another level and see if it can kind of go through still with that lawsuit or not against NASCAR. So it'll basically come down to the next month or so if that appeal does come out and they do appeal it and it goes to either another court or another court you know, research and findings area, then it'll probably get dropped, and then they'll be forced to basically sign it, or else they won't be out there on the racetrack. But as long as they don't sign it and the lawsuit continues to keep on going, then they can race. But it's gonna be pretty crazy. That's bull. You shouldn't have to pay NASCAR to race. Just the appeal was denied. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 100%, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see, you know, where that goes and what NASCAR does when they get it. As we see some great racing here on the racetrack, something even better than NASCAR. It's not monopolized like NASCAR. It's iRacing. And out in front, we do see a lead changes. Dennis Steele in that outside lane quickly jumps to the race lead, but here they come. The outside lane continuing to push to the front of the pack as here comes Jonathan Herbert. Herbert now to the front of the field, and he will lead us here at the beautiful Atlanta Motor Speedway. So Jonathan Herbert out in front, his teammate Ryan Peterson right there on his back bumper. Their other teammate in the HP Motorsports, Ridge Powersports, KR Gutters, number 75. It's Bobby Blair. They're on their back bumper, continuing to push them farther and farther towards the front of the field. The 7 right of Brett Summers right there, as well as here comes the 41 of the Nathaniel Ostrowiecki. Those Rev Powersports, or the Rev Motorsports rides, unfortunately kind of getting shuffled back here a little bit. You do see the 33 trying to charge back up towards the front. That's Nathan Nixon all the way back now into that 4th position, but now looking to go into 3rd. Down still right there behind him, Michael Madden right there as well. As some great racing here in this one. As says, I go to Atlanta 2 times a year. Love that track. It's definitely a very, very exciting track. And the first couple years that NASCAR ran here after the repave, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the last couple races that they had here last year were absolutely insane. You look back to the spring race they had here, and it was the 3-wide photo finish, and the closest finish in NASCAR. And Daniel Suarez went in by inches there, and that was pretty close. Or it was one of the closest finishes in NASCAR. I think that was later beaten by the Kansas race when Kyle Larson won it, I do believe. And that's some exciting finishes this year. Some exciting finishes, some great races. And I look back to that Atlanta race. That was a very, very good race. It wasn't, a lot of single file, follow the leader. It was a whole lot of passing and back and forth, and, 2-3 lanes wide for the whole race pretty much. Is look out, here you go, hang on to it. The 7 ride almost going around, and this is going to stack things up here. Let's take a look back. Let's take a look at the 7 machine right here. That is Brett Summers. He's in the outside lane right now. I'm not sure if he gets a bad shove from the 26. No, it looks like the 469 ride. Ryan Peterson comes up and actually clips him here in that left rear quarter panel. And this is going to get him a slideways here through the corner. Watch his contact right there. Gets him slideways right there. He also gets a shot in the back from the 26 right. Neil Lapidus somehow or another. He's able to keep that truck rolling here. Keeps it pointing in the right direction. I don't know how the heck he did that, but somehow or another, he's able to keep that truck going. And as he kind of gets that contact, gets sideways, here you go. Here comes the 28 right of Dennis Steele into him. He's going to slam right into the back end. You see the 33 right, also hard contact there with that left front tire. And you see heavy left front damage there for that 33 machine. And Dennis Steele probably going to have some pretty good rear end damage there, as well as I do believe that's Nathan Nixon, who ended up there with that contact, ended up with that damage, and then he's going to come right down pit side. Unfortunately, he's going to take his teammate with him here, Kevin Winker. I don't think Winker wanted to come down pit road in the 33. Unfortunately, having a tough time trying to turn. Actually misses the entry to pit road here. And yeah, I don't know if Kevin Winker planned on coming down pit side right here or not, or if he drove down onto the apron trying to avoid his teammate. And unfortunately, yeah, see him up on the high side right here. He's not coming down pit side, but he shoots it down low, trying to avoid the 33. And before he knows it, he's angled in and headed to pit road. So, untimely mistake right there. Unfortunately, taking that different lane choice. And Kevin Winker all of a sudden ends up down pit road. But you do see him back out there on the racetrack. But again, finds himself a lap down out there on the speedway. Brian Chu also a lap or two down. Same with Jeremy Lucy in the number 76 ride. Nathan Nixon back out here on the racetrack. Nixon also a lap or two down, and Brandon DeMang a lap or multiple laps down out here on the racetrack as well. So a bunch of drivers running into some issues here, and a couple times we've seen some close calls, some great saves, but some pretty good contact, and drivers running into issues, and unfortunately having to take their cars down pit side during the green flag, and that puts you quickly a lap or multiple laps down. As more contact, look out, Jeremy Lucy into the wall, almost upside down goes the 4 ride. Oh man, a heartbreaker right there for Daniel Dow. That number 4 machine absolutely tore apart the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC ride. Does go upside down here, as watch this contact. They all get a little squirrely here. They're trying to pass some of these lap down cars. Watch the 87, the black and red truck in the outside groove here. It's like he's going to get to the back bumper of the 75, then the truck kind of shoots down the racetrack, pushing the 4 truck down the lane, and unfortunately hooks Jeremy Lucy right there in the 76 ride, and that just pulls him up the racetrack right over the nose of the 51 machine of Brian Chu, the 41 of Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, and both those drivers nowhere to go, but heavy damage here for the 76, heavy damage for the 4 ride, as you watch him go for a flip there down on the front straightaway, down on the banking there into corner number 1, a couple rolls over here for that 41 ride. Let's watch this in full speed. It's some very big hits here. Oh man, that's a couple heavy hits. A lot of these drivers just trying to hang on, trying to keep themselves out of trouble. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. There's another big wreck here on the racetrack. Watch the 87 to the outside right here. There's the contact, clips the 76, and unfortunately, all these guys know where to go out there on the racetrack, man. That is a tough break here. See if we can jump on board with Brian Chu. Take a look here from the driver's helmet cam of this 51 ride as he's going to get a great look at it. There's the contact. There comes the 4 ride right back in front of him and straight up and into that outside fence. Ugh, brother. A bunch of tore up race trucks right there. That is heartbreaking as we'll get these drivers stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. As Michael says, better go to the care center, driver. Yeah, he's definitely going to the infield care center after that one. That is 100% correct. As racing Jason Fontaine. What's good, Jason? Jason coming in, showing the love. How are you, Mr. Fontaine? Coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction here on the broadcast, showing the big love here in this one. Is a crazy flip right there. Rob says, LLR, let's go, Neil Yeserski. What's up, Rob? How are you, brother? Rob from MC, how are you, brother? As he says, miss racing with these guys, always a great time out there. Penny L says, go Nader. Cheering on Nader out there on the speedway, and unfortunately Nader ran into a little bit of issues there, and a little bit before that wreck had his own issues, had to come down for a green flag pit stop, but he does have this truck back into one piece. He's in front of the rest of the field, looking for a wave around here and hoping to get back either on the lead lap or close to it here. As there you go, he's going to roll around the pace car and earn that lap back, so he's going to try to claw his way back towards the front of the field, trying to claw his way back into this one, but we did see him up in the front of the field working well with his Rev Racing teammates and trying to pick up a win here this afternoon. Rob says, Mr. Peterson, I am in Morristown until Friday morning. Let's get that drink. Oh, brother. Hey, bro, that's dope right there. Listen, Mr. Peterson, if you're watching, if you're listening, brother, hit up Rob, man. Go get a drink with Mr. Rob McDonald. He definitely gonna do that. Is my boy racing Jason Fontaine. Jason coming in, setting it off here in this one with the 100-star dono here this afternoon. The big D of the day going to racing Jason here this afternoon. As Michael says, that guy flipped, better check his pants. I can tell you right now, don't even check them. Just replace them. Just replace the pants. Don't even check them. Just get new ones. That's the best way to do it. As Jason says, I'm great. You, my brother, I am always doing good, Jason. I'm always doing good. Not loving the cold weather up here in Canada. You know how it is up here in Canada. It's not fun. It's getting cold out now. We're in that mid-November where nighttime's super cold, and then if you work outside, you gotta work in that cold stuff, all day long, basically. There's not a whole lot of good warm weather, and right now I'm in the middle of a deck build, so, I got a couple weeks outside, but hey, no snow yet. I'm happy about that. As we go back to green flag racing, but we see more contact, more drivers running into issues. No caution flag as of yet. That was Edward Koshersberger, unfortunately, going around here. I do believe the number, let me double check here. Is that the 18 or the 20 ride? Double check right here. I'm not sure if that was the 18 and Jacob Grube. I think it is Grube getting pushed here from the 15 ride of Michael Madden. And Grube gonna get sideways here. See the push is just unfortunately wrong spot, wrong time right there for that number 18, and he's gonna feel the pain as this one's gonna hurt quite a bit. He's gonna end up into the outside wall right there. Pretty heavy right front damage, but back there behind him, watch the 28 ride right here. So the 28, I think the 19 is going to get onto the binders here. Edward Koshersberger, I think he's trying to get checked up to avoid the spinning 18 ride here in front of him. And I don't think the 28 ride realizes that yet. And right there you see that contact. Unfortunately slams hard into his back bumper here. This is a pretty big hit to the back end of the 19 as he's getting onto the binders to avoid the 18. Spinning there in front of him into the outside fence. There's the heavy hit. Big front end damage there for the number 28 of Dennis Steele. But you see the 19 unfortunately loses that truck. Watches down the racetrack and hard down into the inside wall. Heavy hit right there for Edward Koshersberger as he's going to take that truck down pit road. He's rolling after on the speedway. Unfortunately, now finds himself almost a lap down here, and still quite a bit of damage on that 19 machine. As yo, my boy racing Jason Fontaine coming in with another 100-star dono, brother. I appreciate that, coming in showing the big love here in this one. Says, yeah, she's brisk today, pal. Yeah, she was brisk today, brother. 100%. He says, oh boy, that was a close one right there. And coming in with the 100 stars again, the 200-star dono here so far on the broadcast, the big D of the day, and says, good luck, boys. Cheering on all the drivers out here on the speedway battling for this win. As Michael says, these guys are impatient. Listen, man, they're hungry. They're hungry. This is the last race of the regular season, so everybody trying to get as many points as possible, trying to earn any bonus points, trying to earn any of those opportunities to try to leapfrog a couple drivers, advance their position in our playoffs here. And when it comes down to those points, it could be pretty close. I'm not 100% sure here, but there may be a driver or two in the crowd that's still kind of looking to work their way into the playoffs here. Maybe they need those couple handful of points, so they're kind of pushing the subject a little bit more, knowing that they want to make their way in. Now 20 drivers do make it into our playoffs, but we take them out quite quickly here in big chunks. We get rid of those drivers before we go to our championship 5 for the final 2 races of the season, as a little bit different of a playoff format compared to NASCAR, but nonetheless it's a lot of fun. As my boy Neil Lapidus, Neil at the front of the field, Mr. Lapidus out in front. Neil Lapidus leads the way. The OSUC Outdoors number 26 ride here at the front of the pack, showing these drivers around the beautiful Atlanta Motor Speedway. Michael Madden right there on his back bumper. Jonathan Herbert there in third. There you go. You see Nick Gardner now back inside the top 4, and here we go, Kevin Winker back inside the top 5. So a pair of drivers that we saw run into issues early in this race, getting together down there in corner number 1 and on the front straightaway. They both had quite a bit of damage. They both had to come down pit side early in this race, and they both went down a lap. They were able to work their way back into it, and here they are battling up towards the top 5, as now you see Winker trying to jump into position number 2, just help push his teammate there in the 15 of Michael Madden to the race lead. As Robert McDonald, Robert coming in, setting it off as well with the 99-star dono, coming in, setting it off as well. I appreciate you, brother, Mr. McDonald, coming in, showing the love not only over on YouTube, but also coming in and showing the love over there on Facebook as well, brother. I appreciate that. As Justin Young says, oh, Aaron likes hockey, not even a good team. That's it. Delete them. Delete. Justin, you're a mod. Ban yourself from the channel right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, brother. Listen. The Flyers we're a good team. We're in a rebuild right now. We're in a rebuild. We got Matej Mishkov. We got a lot of young players, a lot of young guys coming up. They're playing. They're getting their feet underneath of them. They're just getting their bearings in the NHL, and they're gonna be very, 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 very amazing here. As Justin says, Facebook is lit with donations. Facebook is lit with donations right now. The boys are coming and showing the big love here in this one. As Mr. McDonald, Racing, Jason Fontaine both coming in, showing the big love here this afternoon. Coming in with the donos here in this one. Rob coming in with the 99-star dono. Racing, Jason Fontaine coming with the 200-star donation, as well as Mr. McDonald says, yo, what's good? I appreciate that, Rob. I appreciate that, mister. As Michael Scott Spencer says, hey, I have a great late model that I race every week. 602 crates. Let's go, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with a little crate late model racing, man. That's one of the main things that my local track runs. We have the 602 crates and sometimes the 604s. All depends on budget and stuff, but there's a lot of 602s out there, a lot of 604s that kind of run together, and it's dealer's choice. That little extra horsepower helps you out in the tacky, but the little less horsepower can try to help you out a little bit more in the slick stuff, where the power kind of gets balanced out and becomes more of, throttle input and being able to roll the corners through the slick stuff. So it makes for some very, very fun, very exciting racing there at the old Brighton Speedway. As Josh 39 says, love your content, joining next stream with friends. Yes, sir. I love that. Love that, Josh. I love that, brother, coming in, showing the love over there on Twitch as well. Dropping that follow on the broadcast as well, brother. I appreciate that, my dude. I appreciate that, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. As, man, some great racing, some great battling out there on the racetrack, and we are well over halfway through this one. As Justin says, oh, don't mind me. I don't know anything about hockey. All I know is a lot of online friends like that team, like the Flyers. Who are your online friends that like the Flyers? I want to meet them. Trust me. I was a Flyers fan for a lot of years, brother. I could go anywhere in any of the surrounding towns. I would never see anybody supporting a Philadelphia Flyers flag or a hat or a t-shirt or anything else. But now I'm starting to see it a lot more, man. The Flyers are making a comeback. They're really starting to bring in a lot of fans, especially up here in Canada and everything else, man. It's absolutely amazing to see. It's absolutely awesome to watch, my Flyers continue to grow and get bigger and better as well. As Rob says, miss racing with these guys. Always a great time. And the announcer is awesome as well. The number 31 Juke Joint truck will be back soon, brother. We can't wait for it to be back. And Mr. Robert Mother Fluffin McDonald, what in the world are we talking about? Rob coming in with a big mother fluffin' D of the day, the biggest donation of the day. Rob McDonald coming in with the 1,000 star donation. Are you kidding me? Are you mother fluffin' kidding me? Robert McDonald coming in, setting it off here in this one. We're going to pin that as well, Rob, coming in with the big, big love here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get a hashtag Juke Joint up in the comment section right now. I want to see Juke Joint up in the chat right now by everybody over on YouTube, over on Facebook, wherever you're watching. Let's get a hashtag Juke Joint up in the chat here. Let me post it in there. I'm hashtagging the Juke Joint. I'm hashtagging Mr. Rob McDonald, man. Absolutely insane. Justin says, let's go, Rob. Let's go, Rob. Mr. McDonald coming in, showing the big love. He came and joined some raid Shadow Legends. Ooh, brother. I don't know if I've ever done Shadow Legends, but listen, I'm down to try anything, as we do see Kevin Winker and Nick Gardner, as we talked about, man, they started 1 and 2 on this day. They were both very, very fast in qualifying, and they both worked their way up to the front of the field here after running into some early race issues. We see this kind of settling down a little bit more single file here or there. On time, we'll see drivers take their runs and jump to the outside, as we do see one driver running into issues here. I do believe that was Dennis Steele and the number 13 of Kyle Van Tassel. No caution flag on the racetrack, but heavy damage to both of these drivers. Let's take a look here. 28 right up on the high side coming out of corner number 2. They come together here. See, body slams the 13 ride. Oh, man, heavy hits right there. Not only for the 13 of Kyle Van Tassel, but for that 28 ride of Dennis Steele as well. And then the 13 was smoking heavily here. See if we can get another look at this one as... there you go. That car just starts puffing smoke down through corner number 3 and 4. And unfortunately, heavy damage there to both the 13 ride and to the 28 of Dennis Steele. They're both able to get their quick repairs and roll back out there onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, they're going to go multiple laps down there after that issue, but they get rolling here again on the speedway. It's Michael Madden and Kevin Winker, 1 and 2 here on the racetrack as we're going to jump into a quick, I dare someone to outdo me, says Rob McDonald. Woo, brother, I like those fighting words right there. I like those fighting words. Rob says, I dare someone to outdo me. Can anybody outdo Rob's $11 donations here throughout the night, man? 1,100 stars coming in, showing the big mother fluffing love here in this one. Can somebody outdo him here this afternoon? I don't know, Rob. I don't know, brother. I think you're going to have to just hold the title here tonight, man. You're going to have to hold the title of the big D of the day, the big donation of the day here this afternoon, man. That's absolutely insane. As man, some great racing here tonight, man, and some great love from the chat here this afternoon. As we're going to take a quick break here, I'm going to get a quick drink into me as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we're going to jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. caution flag on the racetrack. We were riding on board with them. It's Neil Lapidus who's going to run into some issues here in this one. Lapidus in this OSAKOutdoors.com number 26 ride going to run into some issues down in through quarter 3 and 4, and unfortunately going to find the outside fence right there. A little love tap from the 76, and then they kind of get bouncing off each other. Heavy damage right there for the 76, right? Heavy damage for the 87 machine, as well as Jonathan Herbert getting tied up in this one as well. And the 18 right there. Heavy contact to the 18 right of Jacob Grube, and Grube is going to end up coming back up the racetrack here, and he's going to make some heavy contact with the outside fence. Let's take a look at it here once again. There's Lapidus into the wall, gets checked up. The 76 makes contact with them. They bounce off each other, but the 18 front end damage unfortunately goes around here himself, and he's going to end up hitting the outside fence there again. So heavy contact, heavy damage there for Jacob Grube. Heavy damage for the number 18 ride as Grube trying to get this truck pointed back in the right direction. That's what takes him around, and that's what brings that caution flag out there. Now, not sure if Grube could have kept that thing rolling or not, but nonetheless, we do get that caution flag, and that's going to put us under our, third caution flag now on the evening. Couple tough hits right there. I'm sure those drivers were all happy as heck to see that caution flag come out, so that way we could get them down pit side, get their trucks repaired, and hopefully get back out onto the racetrack. Because here we go, you do see Neil Lapidus, Jacob Grube, both rolling back out onto the racetrack here. As out in front, it's showing us as the 41 ride of Nathaniel Ostrowiecki as our race leader. Jason LePan currently scored now in second with Ryan Peterson, Michael Madden, Robert Blair, Kevin Winker, Chris Gilbert. Our top 7 here rolling back out onto the racetrack. Nick Gardner down pit side here an extended period of time with the 7 of Brett Summers. Daniel Dow back down to his pit box. The 87 of Jonathan Herbert down there, as well as Jacob Grube currently scored as a lap down behind the 41. Right now I have to keep an eye on this 41 and see if he does make his way down pit side here. If he does come down pit side, that could potentially work, both the 18, the 77, and the 26 back towards the lead lap, and the 41 that done by not coming down pit road. So looks like Nathaniel Ostrowiecki's gonna stay out here, and the only driver that could potentially get a lap back here is going to be the number 77 ride of Brandon Deming, who's multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. You do see everyone else getting lined back up, ready to go back to battle. Now, I'm not sure if the 18 is in a position for the lucky dog with the 18 ride bringing the caution flag out. I don't think he will be, so looks like he's going to get sent to the back. Same with the 26 of Neil Lapidus, so they will stay a lap down out there on the racetrack. Now, they're going to have to hope for a couple quick caution flags and work their way back onto the lead lap here this afternoon. So we will get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one as Jason LePan. Looks like he's going to take over the race lead. I'm not sure what's going on with the 41 right on Nathaniel Ostrowiecki, as he was scored as our race leader, but now he's back here about the 3rd position on the speedway. So I'm not sure what's going on here with the 41 or where these drivers are getting lined up, but nonetheless, we'll get them figured out. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. This is so far, there we go. Looks like 41's found his way back to the top spot here, back into that number 1 position on the speedway. So Nathaniel Ostrowiecki and Jason LePan getting ready to go back to green flag racing here this afternoon as we get 25 more laps left to go. Rob says no, he says, yeah, unfortunately, Rob, some tough hits right there for Neil Lapidus, but hey, if you get that caution flag, maybe get that lucky dog and back onto the lead lap, he can be right back into the thick of things as we will jump back into our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Make sure you guys crank up that volume and cheer these drivers on. some great racing here by all these drivers. Another good green flag run, and it's some tight racing here towards the front of the field, and the heat is on for the free pass spot as well. Neil Lampett is right here in the thick of things towards the front of the field. Man, he's been put on a heck of a show, heck of a race so far for us, and he's right up in there where he would be in the top 5, but currently finds himself a lap down. So he's looking for a caution flag, hoping for a caution flag to put him back onto the lead lap and back into this potential battle here for a win this afternoon. So Lampett is hoping that maybe some of this 2-wide, 3-wide racing back here behind him can maybe create a caution flag and an opportunity for him to get back onto the lead lap and right back into the battle here at the front of the field. Is that will bring an end to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up here. Give it a huge shout out to all those drivers as Rob says, hey, that's my teammate, and oh, we may get lucky right here. There's the caution flag that Lapidus was looking for. Neil Lapidus was in the free pass position, and he will work his way back onto the lead lap as unfortunately looks like Daniel Dow in the number 4 ride gonna get some contact here, maybe by Lapidus himself. Lapidus down low, unfortunately. Looks like he's going to wash up the racetrack a little bit right there. He actually ends up tail tagging the number 4 ride of Daniel Dow, and that just kind of washes down up the racetrack, and unfortunately, he's got nowhere else to go. He's got to remember the Veterans 19 ride of Edward Koshersberger there to his outside, and they get tied together hard up into the outside fence. Luckily enough, this time going around the 4 ride, stays on all 4 tires and does not go upside down, but you do see Ryan Peterson hard into that one as well. Peterson and the 19 ride make some heavy contact down the bottom side of the racetrack, and unfortunately there, Peterson hard into the outside fence afterwards as well. Man, that's a couple big hits right there. I'm not sure. It looked like Kyle Van Tassel may have had him lined up here, as here comes that 469 full head of steam, and bam, right into the driver's side door of the 19 ride. They stay tight together, then contact right there unfortunately spins him around up the racetrack and hard into that outside fence. Some big hits right there for that 469 ride, and then here comes his teammate in the 13, going to come in and get a pretty good piece of him right there as well. Heavy left front damage there for Kyle Van Tassel, but man, look at this Rage Powersports KR Gutters number 469 ride absolutely tore to shreds out there on the racetrack. A bunch of drivers getting tore up in that one as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Right now, it's showing Jacob Grube getting the free pass here. I'm not sure. Maybe Neil Lapidus decided not to take the free pass because he was part of that caution flag as he got the little bit of contact into the 4 ride here. So that may be the issue right there, because Lapidus was in front of Jacob Grube. So unfortunately, Grube's still back here, or Lapidus still back here. Scored a lap down out there on the racetrack. Rob says, hey, that's my teammate, mate. That's my teammate. Hey, I know it's your teammate. You can poke fun at him. You can poke fun at him. I know he's in a Ford and everything else. You know, he's one of the lone Fords out there, so you got to give him a little bit of hope. You know, he's surrounded by Chevys and Toyotas out there. There's a couple Fords in the field, but not as many as there are of the other Chevys and Fords here this afternoon. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. As Mr. Muehlberger in the house as well. How are you? Tower operator coming in showing the love as he says hashtag Winker Nation, cheering on Mr. Kevin Winker here, currently scored in position number 3 on the speedway. But out in front, it's Nick Gardner and Brett Summers, 1 and 2 here on the speedway. And then we see Kevin Winker, Michael Madden there in 3rd and 4th. Then we see the 87 of Jonathan Herbert there in 5th. The 75 of Bobby Blair there to his outside in that 6th position. Chris Gilbert, Daniel Dow, Jason LePan, Ryan Peterson are top 10 here on the speedway. Jacob Grube back onto the lead lap, now finds himself here in the 11th position, and Neil Lapidus back there in 12th. Now the first car 1 lap down, hoping for another quick caution flag to work himself back on the lead lap. Nathan Nixon, Dennis Steele, Brandon DeMing rounding out our top 15 with Edward Koshersberger, Kyle Van Tassel, Theo Ostrowiski, Jeremy Lucy, and Brian Chu bringing up the rear of the field. Unfortunately, Chu ends his ride down behind pit wall. No takers on the donation challenge. Unfortunately, Rob, doesn't look like we got any biters here in this one. It's my boy Frank Ranger. What's good, Frank? Frank coming in, showing the big love with that heart reaction on the broadcast. My boy Dude Guy coming in as well, showing the love with that like on the stream. As we go back to Green Flag Racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Brett Summers quickly clears the 16, drops down in front of him, so Summers leads the way down the back straightaway. Now you see the 42 right trying to get hooked up on the outside lane here with his Rev Racing teammate in the number 15 of Michael Madden. They're looking to try to work together to work themselves back to the front of the field. Not a whole lot of help to their back bumper. The 45 right trying to join them here, trying to help push them towards the front of the pack. As here we go, you do see Daniel Down trying to work his way back up here. You'll see that 20 right of Jason LePan right there as well as the 469 just a little farther back. There's Ryan Peterson there rounding out our top 10. Jacob Group and the Michaels Warrior Project Ryan just a couple car lengths back there behind him, and Neil Lapidus trying to hope for another caution flag that he's not a part of and hoping to get that free pass and back on the lead lap as he's got that 469 all over his back bumper here as they go down the front straightaway down across the line and into corner number 1. Looks like Peterson is going to take that truck down low and look for a big run down here through 1 and 2, but it's Brett Summers out in front. Summers leading this inside lane, the outside lane being led by that Mule Burger Custom Homes, the Winker Nation, number 42 at Kevin Winker. It's K-Dub looking to try to get it done here in this one, trying to get some help here to that outside groove, hoping that the 45 can help push that outside battle to the front of the field, and hoping that the number 20 right here, Jason LePan, can jump into that fight and join them and battle towards the front of the field. Here comes that 469 rider, Ryan Peterson, as well as Peterson trying to work himself in here as well as Frank says, thinking Winker gonna take the lead. Sorry, we had a bot over there on the Facebook channel. As we had to deal with that real quick. As Rob said, sometimes it's hard having the big D. Yeah, sometimes it's hard having the big D. Oh, there you go, down low. Brett Summers almost going around right there as we do see the white flag fly. The white flag is being displayed. Hang on to it, Nick Garner. Almost going around here himself. The 75 ride right there. Heavy contact. They're wrecking here on the final lap. The 28 ride collected. The 75, the 41, all into that one as Kevin Winker leads us down the back straightaway, down in through corner number 3, and out of corner number 4. Here for the final time this evening, a big run from the 45, but he can't get there as Kevin Winker picks up the win here this afternoon. Winker gets the dub, the 42, in a last lap battle here. Some contact down low, some beating and backing, some battling, and somehow or another the outside lane stays together. They do not falter, and they roll right around it. And Kevin Winker finds his way into victory lane. His teammate Michael Madden right there with them in second, and Chris Gilbert gonna come home in position number 3. Jason LePan there in 4th, and Ryan Peterson, our top 5 here on the racetrack. Nick Gardner still somehow ends up in that 6th position, but it's all the Asphalt Outlaws. Mule Burger Custom Home, Sonic Graphic Designs. It's K-Dub. Kevin Winker, Winker Nation, the 42, up and into victory lane here this afternoon as he's going to burn down the house here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Kevin Winker as K-Dub picking up the win and pulling this 42 ride up and into victory lane, man. What a run, what a drive, and what a show here this afternoon. As Frank says, that was a great great finish. That was a great finish right there. And hey, you called it. You called it, Frank. Thinking Winker gonna take the lead soon. He took the lead and he took the dub here this afternoon. Man, what a drive for Kevin Winker and pulling this car up and into victory lane. We'll have to pull him up here for some post-race interviews in just a minute, but let's take a look back here at this final lap, as there was a lot going on here. As things were getting squirrely out at corner number 4 off the get-go, you see the 7 ride gets a bit of a weird push from the 16. Unfortunately for Brett Summers, as he gets this shove from that 16 ride, it's going to shove him just down the racetrack right here. Just gets in the wrong spot on the back bumper. Unfortunately, shoves him down onto the apron. That puts him a little 3 wide right here. That's where Kevin Winker takes the lead. But then you see the 16. Unfortunate break here for Nick Gardner as he's trying to stay out of the 7 ride. 75 all over his back bumper. He gets loose, washes up, and actually makes contact right there with Michael Madden. Luckily enough, Madden barely even felt that, but the 16 loses that front nose already arrow loose, and unfortunately already getting shoved from the 75 ride. Goes down into the infield here. He's going to do a little landscaping down through corner 1, and unfortunately as he comes back up towards the racetrack, the 75 rider Bobby Blair does as well. Look at Neil Lapidus just avoiding that. Unfortunately, the 77 rider Brandon Domingue not so lucky, drives right into the back end of that 75. The 28 rider of Dennis Steele, he gets in there as well. Heavy contact there for the 28. Then here comes that 41 ride of Daniel Ostrowiecki. He's going to drive in there. He's going to slam into the back end of the Valvoline 28 machine as well. And I don't know what else happens back here, but we do know what happens towards the front of the field as everyone trying to get their cars figuring out where they need to go. It's Kevin Winker who, as this is all happening down here through 1 and 2, him and Michael Madden in the outside lane just drive right around this. See the 7 ride get a little bit loose there on the apron again as he had to come in at a weird angle, and that kind of breaks up our top 5, top 10 out there on the racetrack. Everyone trying to figure out a way towards the front of the field, and you get a big run out of the 45 right here. He gets a big run onto the back bumper of this 15 machine, and he makes a run for it. Unfortunately, I think he just gets to the back bumper of the 15 ride a little bit too soon. And unfortunately, as he does, you watch him right here, he's already on the back bumper of Michael Madden. I think if he shoots down to the inside, I think he wanted the outside lane to try to take that run. Fortunately, has to cut down underneath of the 15 of Michael Madden, as Madden was hoping to get that shot from him and maybe go and take this win away from his teammate. Unfortunately, cannot come up with it, as it's Kevin Winker who gets the win here this afternoon by basically a truck length here this afternoon, as K-Dub puts himself up into victory lane. Man, what a run, what a drive, and what a finish here by all of these drivers, man. That was one heck of a show, one heck of a race here this afternoon, as we'll get ready to pull our race winner, Kevin Winker, up and into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interviews. Let me find the broadcast room. There it is. All right, let's pull Mr. Winker up here for his post-race interview. Hey, Kevin, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Kevin, man, what a run, what a drive. Take us back through this one, man, as we saw you qualify up there towards the front of the field. We see you battling and leading some laps early in this race until some contact down the front straightaway between you and Nick Gardner. You both get up, slam the outside fence. Quite a bit of damage there where you both had to come down pit side, get some repairs done, get back out there onto the racetrack during the green flag conditions where you both go a lap down, but you both work your way back on the lead lap. You both work your way back to the front of the field here, and at the end of this race, you're in contention. You're right in the thick of things, trying to pick up the dub. And here, down on the white flag, coming to the white flag lap, you're able to use that outside lane. You got Michael Madden, your teammate, on your back bumper. You guys finally get that run you're looking for on the outside to take the race lead back away. And at the same time, that inside lane starts to run into issues. They start beating and banging and bouncing around, sliding around, and contact and chaos back there behind you. And you're able to hold them all off and pull this 42 right up into victory lane, man. Take us back through this one and how you feel about picking up another big dub here in the HCK Beagles iRacing League in the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series.
Yeah, it was a wild night. Like I said, I qualified good, and then I I was running Gardner there pretty tight, and I don't know what happened. I have to go back and look. I don't know if I got into him or whatever, but I hate that for both of us because him and I always run clean together. I have mad respect for him, so I hate that that happened for both of us. But we actually both pitted there then and got our fast repair, and we were like 6 seconds behind that second pack, and me and him, I pushed the hell him up to the front or up to that pack. We were passing those guys, so super proud of that. Him and I, working together even after the little miscommunication or whatever. But got up there, and then he got the lucky dog, and I was still a lap down, so I had to take the wave around, and then I don't know, I'm trying to think what happened after that. Then so I took the wave around, then I had to pit for fuel, and then I think another caution came out, and I got the lucky dog, and I started the back again, and I made my way up there, and then found my teammate Madden there at the end, towards the end, and him and I working really well together. I was pushing him, he was pushing me, and then kind of towards the end there, I kind of knew if you're on the outside, you could kind of arc the tri-oval. You get more speed if the guy was behind you pushing you. So I told him to start doing that. We were inching up by them, and then that white flag would have been interesting if they would not wrecked on the bottom. I don't know exactly what happened with them, but that was a good hard racing with the four of those guys, and yeah, I just brought this 42 machine home tonight in Victor Lane. Definitely a challenge tonight, but that's why you always stay in the race and see what happens. You never count yourself out. So happy to park in Victor Lane again tonight, right before the playoffs start next week.
Absolutely no better time to start building up a little extra momentum and pull his 42 right back into victory lane. Definitely going to give you the hot shoe going into that first race in the first round here of our Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series playoffs here in this one. But Winker, man, a great run, a great performance all evening long. Who would you like to thank for such a great run here this afternoon?
Yeah, as always, I want to give a shout out to Bruce Muehlberger, Muehlberger Custom Homes, Crime sponsor me in all my leagues. I know he's watching tonight, so big shout out to you, Bruce. Second all Wink Nation, all my girlfriend Shauna, Brandon, Justin, Brett, Nicole, Gordon, Dylan, Travis, all those guys that tune in every night and support me. I can't thank them enough. Actually, my buddy Gordon's going to try to get an iRacing here soon, so I'm trying to give him some tips and stuff, and maybe he'll be in this league one day. So shout out to him. Shout out to my boys over at Red Racing. We work well together, week in, week out. Tonight wasn't really kind of what we wanted. I know for most of the race, those guys were up there kind of dominating, and then they kind of fell one by one. But me and Man got 1-2, and I think Dow got top 10. So overall, a great night for Rev Racing as always. And then just a shout out to the series sponsors, Michael's Warrior Project, Track Dogs Racing, KR Guardians, Ridge Powersports. All them guys coming on board this season, can't thank them enough. Nate Cogdell at Sonic Graphic Design for the paints. If you need any paints, stickers, any of that stuff, check them out at Sonic Graphic Design. All the admins that put this on, I know it's a lot of work, especially with tonight. We have to review a lot of wrecks and stuff, so should be, well, probably will be a long night, but we'll see. Um, and then yeah, just thank the league. It's a great league to be part of. So we're going to start up season 7 here after the playoffs start. We don't really have a timeline on that, but be on the lookout for that. And then just ready for the playoffs, man. Like I've been pretty consistent all season, probably my most consistent season all 6 seasons. So I'm looking really forward to getting those playoffs started and see what we can do, and hopefully we can at least get in the final 5 and have a shot for the title. And then last but not least, a shout out to you for the broadcast. You do an awesome job. So keep up the good work, man.
I appreciate that, brother, and it's always easy work up here in the broadcast booth when you guys put on amazing races like you did again here tonight, man. Kev, a great run, a great drive, and a great finish here, and a huge congratulations after you pick up another big win here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Tuesday. Hopefully right back up here in Victory Lane and getting your playoffs, fired off on the right foot here and keeping that consistency, keeping these good runs going. And as you said, man, a opportunity to at least try to race for a championship here in season number 6.
Yeah, man, we'll try our best. Tough crowd here, guys. Got a lot of talent in this league, so it's definitely going to be tough. I know the second round is going to be really tough when we go from 10 to 5 drivers. That's going to be nail biter, all 3 of those races. First round shouldn't be too bad. You got 20 guys down to 10, so I think we'll easily be able to make it through there. But that second round is going to be tough, especially with Dega in there and a couple other tracks. So we'll see what we can do, and catch you next Tuesday.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night, and Kevin, don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
I'll try not to. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for K-Dub, Kevin Winker, picking up the checkered flag here in this one. A very exhilarating race, a very amazing finish to this one. As Justin Young says, could you imagine a whole lap raced backwards? 87 is inspirational. He's definitely inspirational right there. Herbie's Wild Ride says 87 finishes backwards. He definitely did. We saw that. We had to go back and check that out there for the Herbie's Wild Ride, as he definitely went for a wild ride right there on the final lap of this race. The final corner right there getting tied together, and unfortunately, up against that outside wall backwards, and no time to turn around. You just throw her in reverse and keep it going and hope to, salvage a still very solid finish on the day. And luckily enough, I do believe he still comes home in a 9th place finish, so still a top 10 for Jonathan Herbert backwards across the line. Can never complain about that one. As we're going to get ready to pull in our 2nd place finisher, a huge congratulations again to Kevin Winker picking up the win, but we're going to get ready to pull Michael Madden up into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Hey Michael, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I got you, man.
Michael, a pretty exciting day of racing action here for yourself, man. You were kind of all around it here this evening as you were up at the front of the field just battling nonstop here, and we saw you doing a lot of teamwork, a lot of pushing and shoving there with the Rev Racing crew, and unfortunately as they kind of ran into their own issues, you kind of stayed up there, had to find some different dancing partners, kept battling there till late in the race. You finally get hooked back up there with your teammate Kevin Winker, and you're able to push him all the way to the race lead on that white flag lap, and you're able to try to make a move to his outside there, trying to get that win away from him. Unfortunately, Winker out in front, being able to pick up the win here in this one, but a Rev Racing 1-2 again here this afternoon.
Yeah, man, we just worked well all night. It was great. A lot of fighting up and trying to figure out what line was better. And well, they started falling off like flies. And like you said, I had to find my own way to kind of keep back up in the front. I did not want to go in the back, man, because it looked crazy, and it was crazy. And I had no desire to go anywhere deeper than 7. So I kept it up front and then found Winker. And then I was going to make a move on the end, but I saw the 45, kind of got through that little I don't know, tangle up they had in 1 and 2, and was gaining momentum back up to my draft. I knew if I didn't push Winker, we might have both lost the race. So it was more of just kind of trying to finish second and making sure we secured the win, which we did. So it's great teamwork all night, great pushing from everybody. I know some of us had a tough night at the end, but everybody's effort was, what got us the 1-2.
Yeah, absolutely. For the effort, definitely showing up here in this one, man. You guys put on another great race and another great show here for you. As we know, we saw a lot of the Rev Racing guys up there leading laps and battling at the front of the field. And even if they didn't get the finishes that they were hoping for, man, nothing to hang their hat about, as that was a lot of great, solid racing out there, especially throughout that first, 70, 80 laps of this race, until things got a little bit crazier there at the end. And obviously we saw a few wrecks there on that final lap as well. But regular season coming to a close here. Another solid finish for yourself, another solid team performance here. How are you feeling, and how's the team feeling going in to our playoffs here next week?
Yeah, man, it's just I was hoping not to get a penalty tonight, so hopefully that hopefully I secured that and just don't have to start from the pits or do a drive-through next week. That was kind of the goal coming in here, and realistically, kind of had a kind of floppy season. I started out hot and I kind of went cold and had a rough stretch. So getting the 2nd place finish tonight, kind of build momentum back up for the start of the playoffs. All that stuff's over now. It's all about focusing on each race and just, getting through the rounds, not trying to be a hero, big picture thinking, and, try to defend this thing.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing how things go for you and the team here throughout our Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series playoffs starting next Tuesday, and hopefully we'll see you guys right back up here in the broadcast booth. Hopefully see you guys making your way and battling your way into another opportunity there at the Championship 5, and maybe putting yourself back up here as the defending champion and going back to back here and pulling off what Ryan Blaney couldn't do last Sunday. But Michael, another great run, another great performance here by yourself. Who would you like to thank for such a great run here this afternoon?
Appreciate it, man. Just want to thank all my ref teammates, Sparkle and Shine, anything EC, Sean, all those guys, everything they do for us, and appreciate their support through every season I go through, and MF15 crew for tuning in each and every week. Yourself for putting on the show, man. You're a one-man show. Appreciate you, and looking forward to getting going. Stack some pennies and make a run at this thing one more time.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there next Tuesday. Michael, congratulations on the second place run again here tonight, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Tuesday, maybe one spot better, and up in victory lane yourself.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Michael Madden as Madden comes home there in position number 2. A very solid run, a very solid race there for the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 15. As we'll get ready to pull in our third place driver, the 45 right of Chris Gilbert. Let's pull Chris up here into the broadcast booth. Hey Chris, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Aaron.
Chris, man, a pretty exciting race, a pretty crazy finish to this one, but we watched you throughout the night kind of start a little deeper in the field. Didn't really seem like you had, the intensity right at the get-go to really drive up to the front of the pack there. Seemed like you were kind of playing a little safer, kind of keeping yourself hanging out there towards the rear of the field, maybe mid-pack there throughout the middle of this race. And all of a sudden, right here at the end, you start to make your way up to the front, and you're right there within striking distance. A couple opportunities open up there on that final lap, and you try to make some moves. You try to find that big run there to get around Madden and Winker down to the line. Unfortunately, got a little bit of a block there at a 4. Couldn't quite carry the momentum I think you were hoping to carry down the front straightaway, and what could have put you into victory lane. But you settle in for a very solid third-place run here to finish off the regular season, man. Take us back through this one, and how you feeling there after the move there on the final lap?
Not feel pretty good. That final lap move, I mean, I didn't think I'd get to Kevin at all. I was hoping to just get second place, but I had no teammates tonight, so that whole race, I was just trying to set myself up to where I had momentum at the end. I had a clean truck, extra set of tires if I needed it, did everything I could to whatever scenario happened, I could move forward.
Absolutely, setting yourself up, and as you said, no teammates, so you gotta try to find some different dancing partners and hope that people will just work with you whether or not you're on the same team or not, and just hoping that they can try to use you to work themselves towards the front of the field as well. And it works out pretty good for you here, man, as you pull that 45 ride back up onto the podium. You come in and finish off the regular season on a bit of a high note here. We saw you pick up a couple wins, we saw you have some really great finishes here after we saw you have some disappointing finishes in races that you probably should have won, and unfortunately things did not work out for you. But kind of putting all those to past here, knowing that the playoffs are getting underway, you're in there, you're in the show. What are you going to do here in this first round to work your way into the second round of our playoffs and potentially go after a championship?
I just gotta be more aggressive, make sure I'm there more, and then just honestly go for it. I can't keep hanging back and just wait toward the end and do anything. I gotta go from start to finish now.
Absolutely, definitely just gotta go, and keep that 45 right up towards the front of the field, and maybe put yourself into a position to pick up some more wins and maybe lock your way in and battle here for our Season 6 championship here with the HCK Beagles and the Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series. But Chris, another great run, another great drive here for you tonight. Hopefully some momentum being built up heading into that first round of the playoffs. And hopefully, you get ready to rock and roll and put on a show for us next Tuesday. But Chris, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this afternoon?
I want to thank Gregory Turner for putting the show on and gonna be my team owner, and then Michael's Warrior Project, the whole HK Beagle scene. Everybody puts this race on, all the admins. It's awesome. So been having fun this year. Hopefully we can get it done.
Absolutely, brother. That's the big thing right there. Having some fun, enjoying your time on the simulator, and hopefully, some more fun, as it's always that much better when you can end up in victory lane after some very, very good hard-fought races out there on the Speedway, and potentially picking up a championship, man, is the most fun you can have here on the simulator. And we look forward to seeing how it all plays out, and hopefully talking to you, quite a bit more here in these final few races of the season. But Chris, congrats on the third place run here tonight. We can't wait to see you back out there next Tuesday.
Yep. Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Chris Gilbert as Chris picks up the third place finish here this afternoon. We had Jason LePan there in fourth and Ryan Peterson rounding out our top five here in this one. Nick Gardner, Robert Blair, Bobby Blair there in seventh. Good rebound for him, especially with the contact there on that final lap. Daniel Dow, Jonathan Herbert, Brad Summers, Neil Lapidus, our top 11. Jacob Grube there in 12th, and definitely some crazy finishes here. Some great runs for a lot of drivers here that were looking to try to finish off this regular season on a high note, and it was definitely a high note here, man. A lot of fun, a lot of great racing, a lot of great action out there on the speedway, and these drivers, man, they put on one absolutely amazing race for us here this afternoon. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here tonight. I will see you guys all back here tomorrow evening for our double headers. We have the Dirt Mini Stocks at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow, and then we go back to Phoenix for our championship race in the first season and only season of the Slingshot Sim Racing Cup Series. So we're going to see those drivers duking it out tomorrow night for their championship, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a good time watching them duke it out there in that one, and hopefully I see you guys back in here for all the racing action tomorrow afternoon. But thank you all for tuning in here tonight, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaming light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in grace. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaming light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in grace. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. In this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might.